Welcome to the Denasha Harrison Show here on Intellectual Radio, where we feed our brains. 708-223-8953. That is the number to call if you feel like talking to me on my show. So I'm really happy that I had the opportunity once again to be in front of each and every one of you. I appreciate all the love and support that we had from the last show. We were at TNT off of Madison, nice little rooftop restaurant. Got some really nice reviews from that show. It was a wonderful conversation, wonderful discussion. Of course, Up and Going Cleaning Services by Anthony McMath. He was there. He was our first guest. And then we also talked a little bit with the actual owners of the space. One of the huge takeaways that I got from that show was how you can have something so lovely in the middle of a neighborhood that's been neglected for so long. Um, we talked a little bit about not having to go all the way in the downtown area. Now, of course, I love my city. I love the different choices and opportunities that we have to go to different places and enjoy in different venues. But the fact that you have such a lovely space within a space in a place that's so neglected, that's been so neglected, I think is a wonderful thing. The people in that community are wonderful people, just like everywhere else in Chicago. The fact that you have something that they can go to, relax, stretch out a little bit, have a great um, atmosphere, great ambiance, and great food is always a good thing. So I'm hoping that we have more of those type of shows like the one we did last week at the rooftop. And I hope that we can talk to the owners of TNT Rooftop a little bit more in detail. And I'd also like to talk to them about their clothing store. I believe there's a clothing store that's adjacent to the restaurant. It's a beautiful building that has a lot of wonderful things going on in there for not only that family that owns the place, but the community as well. So I really appreciate how they've incorporated their vision in their community off of Madison TNT Rooftop Restaurant. Wonderful, wonderful place. So, and of course, always shout out to the family for helping to support the show. I'm asking that you all continue to help support the show. We are on Intellectual Radio. If it's not my show that you really dig, if there's another show that you want to catch, please go to intellectualradio.com. Go ahead and click that subscribe button and check out the shows. Donate to those shows. If it's not my show that you want to donate to those shows, donate to the platform, because what we got going on here may not be specifically for you, but there's something for you on the platform somewhere. So this show may or may not be specifically for you. Other shows may not be your forte, but it's a huge platform with a wonderful variety of shows. I'm trying to say diversity and variety at the same time, y'all. So wonderful variety of shows, very diverse. So check it out. Intellectualradio.com, iHeartRadio affiliate, where we feed our brain. 223-8953, area code 708. So a couple of things I'd like to get into tonight is uh, are all the conversations that's going on about the Haitian immigrants. Gonna touch a little bit on that. There's a place called Salakaga or Silakaga City in Alabama. So I'm gonna spell it. Maybe I can get some help. Sylacuga. Exactly. Right. So in that place in Alabama, a lot of people were they were expressing their feelings about the Haitian immigrants. Now, we've already heard about Springfield, Ohio, but that place, I'm going to give it another shot. Sylacauga. And if that ain't how you say it, I'm trying to make it smooth as if it is. Sylacauga, Alabama. Look it up. They don't have a lot of immigrants coming there, but there have been some expressions of concern about um, immigrants as a whole, but specifically the Haitian immigrants coming to those two spaces. Now, as you all have heard, uh, the the running the people running for president of the United States. You've heard about Kamala. You've heard about Donald. talking about this subject. And as you heard, if you didn't hear in the last debate, it was speak of cats and dogs being eaten by Haitian immigrants, uh, about how it's not safe for pets, things of that nature. The people expressed their concern about, the resources in the community, which I can always understand concern about resources concerning what taxpayers put their money towards. They were speaking about the different jobs that may be taken away. Well, I get that. I can understand the concern about resources being stretched in any community. But what what's suspect to me about the Haitian immigrants in these particular spaces, let's talk about Slyakaga or Silakaga, Alabama. Let's talk about uh, what which immigrants were there before. There were Croatians that went to the same spot, didn't hear an uproar about it. Mexicans going to that spot, not an uproar about it. Middle Easterns going to that same place, not a lot about it. Um, can't speak on how many immigrant groups have gone through Springfield, Ohio, but it seems to me that the issue is not immigrants. It seems to me that the issue is Haitian immigrants. A lot of people want to make the distinction between African Americans and Haitians. A lot of people want to make the distinction between African Americans and Africans. A lot of people want to make the distinction between um, African Americans and our Caribbean brothers and sisters, um, Black Mexicans and African Americans. It's so sickening to me that you would single out a different type of immigrant because they remind you of the Black people that you are among here in our country. My take, my opinion, and I'm going to share it. The majority of people who come from these different countries may get $4,000, $6,000, $10,000 a month. The Haitian immigrants, to my knowledge, are getting about $2,000 a month. That's more than a lot of Americans are getting, and I get what your concern is about it. What I what I what disturbed me was people speaking their piece about why they did not want Haitians in their city in Alabama. One lady stood up and talked about how trashy their countries were and how the people that were coming from those countries were responsible for trashing the country before they decided to come here. Now, I will never paint a group of people with a broad brush. I think that that's prejudice, and I believe that there's racist. That's racist as well. So you have people who are coming to this country for a better life. And by the way, African Americans, black folk from way back didn't get that opportunity. They didn't get that choice. Way back thousands of years ago, we came as those who would share with the people who were already here. We didn't come and settle and subjugate folks like we were settled on and subjugated. We didn't have that option. My folk from Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, Louisiana didn't have that option. We were stolen and taken. So our immigrant experience is non existent in comparison to the Irishman, the Italian, um, the European in general, the German, the Polish, Croatians, Ukrainians. At the time, it was called Bosnia Herzegovina. The Middle Eastern, whether it's Indian, Iraqi, Kuwaiti, the list goes on and on. Their experiences are different because the Mexican, have attempted to get to this land. We didn't have that opportunity. We were stolen. We were subjugated. Right? We were stolen and brought to this land. So you have Haitian Americans who are here because they were born here or some uh, acquired their citizenship. You have Americans like me with Haitian ancestry. My great grandfather was Haitian, Mr. Baylor, Baylor. And I'm also related to a lot of Baileys. So, my point is that you have our experience that wasn't the average immigrant's experience. Right? We worked for free. We worked against our will. We served in the military, even though it was segregated, even though we've witnessed atrocities against our people, racism on all fronts. Even my time in the service from 1991 to 2011, even my time in the service was a time that where I experienced racism. Absolutely not on the same scale as those who came before me. Absolutely not on the same scale. However, it was there a little bit, but it was there. You have Haitians who are coming over to America because their country's jacked, jacked in a negative way. Why? Well, has a lot to do with Haiti itself, also has a lot to do with the Dominican Republic, France, America, all those other European countries that decided not to do business with the country. I still think that I think that a lot of people still have a lot of heartburn because Haiti was the first country in that area to gain their independence from France, and they did it more than once. Um, with other countries attempting to resubjugate them, re-enslave them. Um, so you have people who want to work, want that same experience that other immigrants um, have had or are continuing to pursue. They go to these towns and people are upset because of the color of their skin. These folk ain't did nothing against you. They ain't talking nothing about you. Right? The majority of visas that are given in most programs, and I believe it applies to the Haitian program, the Haitian situation as well. You usually get an 18th month visa, and then after you get an 18th month visa, and you come to whatever place that you're in, word of mouth gets around about folks needing work. Usually, those work visas within that 18-month visa is the work probably lasts for maybe 3 months, maybe more, maybe less, but that's about the average. After 3 months, you either get another job or you move on to another state or another city within that state, just depending on where the work is, based on the network that is being provided by Haitian Americans, Americans, different types of organizations, people that just really care about doing right by people. I understand that fear and anger are two of the motivating factors as to why people don't want to see other people in their community. But what are you fearing? Are you fearing the fact that your job's going to be taken? Or are you fearing the fact that there's black folk that's in your area that you're not used to seeing? And are you believing all the rhetoric about dogs and cats being eaten and to the point where you're not walking your pets? So, man, come on with it. Just call it what it is and stop the madness. At the end of the day, you're afraid that them black folk in your area are going to pose a threat, not based on what they've done, but based on what you expect, based on what you fear. You fear that a black planet has landed in your city, a black planet has landed in your state, a black planet is going to take away from you what you ain't even got in the first place. You hollering about a job that you afraid that's going to be taken. You hollering about taxes and people draining resources. What are you really contributing to your existence? How many jobs do you have? Do you even have a job? Do you even pay taxes? Because I believe that if you're doing the things that you need to do as a citizen, that you would really understand, you'd really comprehend why people are trying to flee a space for the American dream that you have privy to, but that you probably ain't doing nothing with in the first place. Let's be real. This American dream, this thing that you standing 10 toes down for, how are you really participating? What are you really providing? What are you really offering? Besides a bunch of rhetoric about people who don't look like you. When them Croatians moved in, you didn't say nothing. When them folk that looked like you came through, you opened up your homes. But because there's something that's unfamiliar to you, but yet familiar because you do live among black folk, so there's some familiarity. Maybe y'all believe in the hype about how the crime rate's what it is because of blacks. Maybe you believe in the hype about all the negative things that the media is displaying to you about how we do one another. And I will admit, black folk, we need to be better to one another. I will admit that the majority of black folk that's being killed are black folk being killed by other black folk. The police they do their part, but we do more damage to our people and others than others could ever do to us. And when I say in others, this is what I mean by that. You got two brothers, black. One of them shoot another. Well, now we didn't did damage. They didn't did damage to each other. But guess who's attached to that brother? A daughter, a son, a wife, a mother, an uncle, an auntie, a cousin, a coworker, a pastor, a deacon. The community's hurting when we hurt one another. Now, I'll be damned if I don't speak on how egregious it is for immigrants not to be accepted because they black and because you got issues with black folk in America. Now you taking issues up with these Haitian folk because they black. Don't distinguish me any different from any other immigrant that's got the same color as me because we go through the same mess. Whether here in America, I've been overseas, I've seen how people look at me, I've seen how people treated me. So I'm not speaking on what I think is the issue. I'm speaking on my experiences about the situation. So don't distinguish me any different because whether you Haitian American, whether you a black Mexican, whether you are Colombian, whether you're African, man, if you got melanin in your skin, then you're on the same page to those who hate you. So don't come to me talking politics about how you're going to hate a certain group of black folk and try to base it on the policies of their jacked up country, but not lump me into the conversation because we have the same struggles because of the color of our skin. And if you're not going to make it about the color of their skin and you do want to make it about the country, then how you going to hate the person trying to flee the country? How you going to talk against the person trying to flee the country that's jacked up and they looking for a better way of life like you were given when you came and 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 sought out what you sought out? So that's my take on it. I'm 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 really disheartened about other folks that don't look like us. And I'm really disheartened about folks that look like us but just don't do us right. We don't do it right among ourselves. Let's talk about Springfield. Still in Springfield. You have a mission that stories of dogs and cats being eaten by black folk, aka Haitian immigrants, was made up. You have a mission that those stories were made up. Hey, if it takes making up a story to bring awareness to the immigration issues in this country, then that's what we're gonna do. That's what J.D. Vance said. That's the guy running for vice president under Donald Trump running for president. So you saying you're gonna make up a story about black folk eating dogs and cats in order to bring awareness to our immigration situation in America. That's, by the way, an issue because the person that's running for president with you, Donald Trump, killed a bipartisan bill to do something about immigration regarding putting, more resources on the border, whether it was manpower, money, whatever they decided in Congress. It was called a bipartisan agreement that a Republican killed because it wasn't going to be good for his campaign. That's facts. So you got folk that don't want to do anything about the border situation. And that's the same group of folks that's making up lies about dogs and cats being eaten by black immigrants, Haitian immigrants. So I stand with any immigrant that wants a better life and it's going to be about the American dream that we didn't even get a chance to participate in because of how we came over here in the first place. But yet we built this country in a lot of ways. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, always under attack. Always under attack. Because what you got, however you got it, you don't want to see somebody else have the opportunity to get it. Now, your merit is what it is. Your merit is what it is. Your merit is what it is. What you do on your own merit is what it is. Content of character, not color of skin. Okay. I dig that and I get that and I understand that. So you don't work, you don't eat. Okay. If there's no work to be had, then how do we solve that problem? If you're trying to come up against me because I'm trying to work and feed my family, then what am I supposed to do with that? That's been happening to us for hundreds of years, y'all. We've been squeezed out for hundreds of years. I'm talking about the African American experience at this point. And for you African Americans that got issues with Haitian immigrants or anybody else of color trying to get over here and get theirs, but you need to check yourself as well. That's my opinion. How you gonna try to shut the door on somebody when there's a door that was never open for you in the first place? We had to bust through them doors. We had to make our own way. We had to do what we had to do. And yet you're gonna side with the bigot, you're gonna side with the racist, and you're gonna say that these people don't deserve an opportunity to come and try to do better for them because their politics and their country's jacked up because of the politics of our country against their country. So make it make sense. All this arguing and bickering about Dalton, Illinois, and other little places like it. Man, hear me and hear me now. At the end of the day, I have no agenda. At the end of the day, as I'm running for trustee of Dalton, man, I'm all about the people. And if you want to come see me on that, you got a question about that, then come see me. Come holler at me. Again, 708-223-8953. You can go ahead and call in. You know I'm here 8 to 9 on Wednesday. You got a question about my credentials, you got a question about my motives, then come have a conversation with me. But instead of doing that, the majority of y'all want to just continue to kick up dust because y'all ain't got no other worth in your life concerning anything else but kicking up dust. You say you for the people, but the people don't even understand what's going on in their own community, man. Help it make sense. I don't care who it is. If you're in a position to affect change in a positive way so that people can have a better platform to live their life, then that's what you need to do, period, or move out the way. Stop being a menace to society because that's exactly what you're being when you're not doing for the people, but you've been elected to do for the people. All this fighting and bickering and arguing, guess what you can't get back? Time. You got folks 70, 80 years old worried about how they're going to make it day to day, if they're going to stay in their house or not, but you arguing and bickering because you think it's cool. You trying to score points on social media? At the end of the day, you trying to feel like you got one up on somebody when you really dying on the inside because somebody done hurt your feelings so bad to where you can't do nothing about it but try to snap back instead of getting down on your knees and praying about what your situation is so that you can get that weight lift off of you so that you can ask for forgiveness and keep it moving. Everybody not going to accept your truth. But if you know the truth and you telling the truth, then that's all that should matter in that moment because you are affecting change for people who need you to be on point about the business. For me, again, my agenda is for the people of Dalton. I consider myself to be one of the people of Dalton, and I'm running for trustee of Dalton. You can get behind me and watch me do the business or not. At the end of the day, because I'm standing on what I believe in is good for the people, I'm going to try to make headway to do what's best for the people. I'm going to listen to the people. I'm going to give some of the ideas that I have in my head about what needs to be done. At the end of the day, whether I win the seat or I don't, I stood and I put my hat in the ring to try to make a difference. And guess what? Because I'm standing, putting my hat in the ring to make a difference, the difference is already being made. Win or lose the seat. I had a trustee come to me asking me, and I think I said this before, why would you run for trustee and people are already doing the job? And my response was, I don't know what your record is. And I don't have a record. But I know that I want to do right by the people of Dalton. And I trust that you might want to do the same because you're actually in the seat. I really don't care about winning or losing when it comes to the seat. And then the person came back at me. Well, that's what I'm saying. If you don't really care about winning or losing, then why would you even run? And my response again was, if I'm for the people and you for the people, then don't we all win? If there's something that you feel like you can do better and you're not doing it, and I feel like I can do a better job, guess what? I'm going to step up. But if I feel like you're doing something better than I can do, or I feel like you're already doing the job, then I'm going to support you. But I have no clue because I don't know what your positions are, because I don't know what your record is. And again, I don't have a record. But I can tell you this, if you for the people of Dalton and I'm for the people of Dalton, then Dalton wins at the end of the day. Win or lose when it comes to the seat. Give the people the choice. Let them decide. Because I think everybody tired. We tired when it comes to our relationships. Man, we tired. We tired of when it comes to our communities not doing right by us. We tired. We tired of watching people reject other people that is looking for a better way of life when they come here. You done made your way because somebody gave you an opportunity. Oh, it wasn't you. Well, it was your grandmother, or it wasn't her. Maybe it was her great grandmother. You was an immigrant at some point. Hell, even the Native Americans that were here before all y'all came here were immigrants. They came from somewhere. At the end of the day, I tell you who was here, chopping it up with the Native American. It was the African. That's a fact. That's a fact. So at the end of the day, when we got here, we knew to take our butts back home. Because when we came, we gave, we shared, we created, we uplifted. We didn't rape, rob, pillage, and take things away, send it back to the place that we came from. We came here as prisoners and we still made that work. As much as you try to take out the black man in America, we still rise, we still stand at the end of the day. And I'm hoping that every single immigrant that comes from every country that got folk looking like us understand that the folk that understand, they got your back. At the end of the day, they got your bite. They got your back. Do what's right. Do what you're supposed to do. Don't try to take mine. Give me a chance to give it to you. Give me a chance to share with you. Give me an opportunity to do that. And for the ignorant racists, I extend the same thing to you. You're afraid and you're angry, but you don't know what you're afraid and angry of. You allow a skin color to get you all angry and afraid. But I guarantee, like I said in the show before this, I guarantee that everybody wants the same thing. Everybody wants peace in their home. Everybody wants security. Everybody want to be happy. And everybody want to have more than they need in order to take care of them as well as themselves. This land don't belong to nobody but the person that created it, but the God that created it. You can cultivate it, you can work it, but at the end of the day, you ain't taking it with you. All the money that you making, you ain't taking it with you. But you don't have the mindset to share with someone who needs, just like you needed at some point, just like your ancestors needed at some point. Man, miss me with all that. That's garbage. Stop with all the garbage. Stop with all the garbage. Stop with all the hate. Right? I always talk about circles. A lot of people I need to tighten up in mind. I've been through it, y'all. But I'm here and I'm going to go through it. I'm going to get through it. My family member talked about the hell that you have to go through. Don't ask God for a better life, because that's life. You're going to have some ups, you're going to have some downs. You're going to have some good times and bad times. But if you got hell on earth, then who are you to ask that hell's removed? Because what's going to happen? You get that hell removed, you think hell ain't going to never come back at you? You think you ain't going to never have to walk through it again? Man, come on. Stop with the madness. If you got hell in front of you, then ask God for the strength to get through it, because you're going to go through it, because that's just how it is down here on this earth. And in the meantime, when you understand how you're getting through that hell, then how about we do this? How about we understand how to make this life here on earth our heaven? Because there's different levels of heaven. So why you got to wait until you leave this space, this gift called life, to experience something that you have the opportunity to experience down here right now? Man, all you churches that's open, teaching that mess about how people got to wait until the sweet by and by to meet at that beautiful shore. Man, you need to quit telling them lies to these people. Tell people the truth. You are 10 toes down and 6 feet above ground. Every day you wake up is an opportunity for you to do and get. For you to do and get. For you to do and get. And this is what I mean by that. For you to do your life better than you did the day before. For you to do somebody else's life better than what you did to them the day before. And for you to get the blessings that God has promised you according to his word. When we talk about according to God's riches and glory, you got to get it. So in order for you to do and get better than you did and got the day before, you have to change your mindset. You have to elevate over the bull stuff. You got to change your mindset. All right. So for you to actually master this life, you have to be open to learn about this life. You have to be open to the things that make this world tick. Respecting one another. Easy, easy one-on-one stuff. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Well, how can you do unto others as you would have them do unto you if you don't know what it means to love yourself? That's ground zero right there. What does this self-love come from? If it doesn't come from your family, where does it come from? The same entity that made you breathe, that allows you to breathe, that makes you tick. You got to tap into that. Because when your mother lets you down, when your father lets you down, when your wife, husband, girlfriends, boyfriends, when you are let down by the world, you're still 6 feet above ground and 10 toes down. So something woke you up this morning. You got to find out how to tap into that what. What is it that woke you up? What is it that gave you another chance? What is it that gave you another opportunity? Okay, you want to put God on it? Okay, let's put God on it. You want to put the universe on it? Let's put the universe on it. Whatever it is that you want to call it, understand that there is something there, y'all. There's something inside of you that's continuing to drive you. There's something inside of you that's not causing you to jump off a cliff. And if you're feeling that, get away from that. If there's a dark door that's really pulling you to walk through, you got to go in the opposite direction. There's something inside of you that's continuing to tell you to go head on. So just want to share that with you. And we're going to elaborate on that a little bit more. You're listening to the Denasha Harrison Show here on Intellectual Radio. We're going to go to a quick music break and we're going to keep the conversation going about that something inside of you. So do not go anywhere. Thank you for joining me. Be right back.
You ain't got enough money to buy my soul. Ain't strong enough to stop me. I'm out of control. This the matrix, I'm Neo. I know that I know. I am that I am. So I speak so bold. On the verge of losing hope. Had nowhere to go. Switch my style from singing vocals to magical flows. Studied the streets a little closer. One with the ghetto. Got wise as I got older. Unloaded the metal. New millennium rebel. After that federal dollar. Balanced the world on my shoulders. I know my soldiers are following me at war. Cause kids still dying in the streets at war. On the block running from the police at war. In the US, this ain't the Middle East at war. With the problems in my own community in this war. It's the only way to fight an enemy. Lord, save my father from this bottom to Hennessy. With more can I give? I'm giving all of me. And for real, it's only getting hotter for me. Harder to see and harder to breathe. And there's only one remedy. I gotta be smarter than my enemies.
Welcome back to the Denasha Harrison Show here on Intellectual Radio, 708-223-8953. Before we went into a break, for those of you who are just joining us, the last conversation that we were having was that thing inside of you. What is it inside of you that keeps driving you, keeps pushing you, keeps allowing you to go forward, to go head on, right? When you're let down by people in the world, your closest confidants, the people that sleep right next to you at night, the people that walk hand in hand with you, the people that have raised you, the people that you raised, the people that you would give your last for. When those people abandon you or use you and abuse you, who do you go to? How do you keep moving? How do you keep going? How do you keep that drive going? When your whole circle turns against you, what do? Do you take yourself out? Do you say, I'm done with this life? I want you to understand something, that this life is a gift, y'all. See, society won't present it to you that way. They want to twist it and always have you searching, always have you looking for something more than what you're not recognizing yourself to have in that moment. They want to keep you chasing something that is not relevant to your existence. I'll say that again. Forces in this world want you to keep chasing something that's not relevant to your existence. Now, you exist, you can add a whole lot of things to your life to make it easier, better. Some people get more opportunities than others, but at the end of the day, there's something inside of you that pushes and drives you to stick around. That is what you need to find out how to tap into. It's not the same for everybody. Some people find it in church, but what happens when the church turns against you? What happens when the church don't let you come on Sundays? Programs, institutions, what happens when you get kicked out of those? What do? You have nobody to turn to. What do? You have to find a way to tap into what's inside of you. A lot of our people do prayer. A lot of our people do meditation. There's a difference, right? So when you praying, you asking for something. When you're meditating, you're having a two-way conversation with that which created you. Again, when you're praying, you're asking. When you're meditating, you're conversating. Some of us need to do one over the other, or some of us might need to do both. I know for me, I need to do more meditating. I need to hear more from God. I need to do a lot more back and forth. We get into the business of asking for so much stuff, and then we forget what we didn't ask for. So when we get an opportunity to walk into that blessing, we miss the opportunity because we still busy asking for stuff, not acknowledging what's in front of us. Back to the Haitian situation. You want people to fill these jobs. You want A little bit of diversity in your neighborhoods, in your community. You don't want your cities to die out because they're so small. You want some new ideas, something different, something fresh, something to emulate what's being successful. You want your city to emulate the cities that are making things work when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion of immigrants. But you get a whole bunch of immigrants, and oh, by the way, I don't know if I asked for the same skin color as those people that I really don't understand. Let's do a do-over. I don't want them type of immigrants. They don't really look like me. They eat different. You ask for a blessing, you get a blessing, then you reject the blessing because your mind ain't right. You got to change your mindset. Man, them people don't want nothing with you in a negative way. So why you want something with them in a negative way? They ain't did nothing to you. You talking about taking up arms against Haitian immigrants. And if your city don't do something about it, if the federal government don't do something about it, you will. Man, that's a threat. And because they look like me, that's a threat against me too. You don't know if I'm Haitian or not. All the way. So that's a threat. So what you saying? What you trying to do? It's a bunch of nonsense that you're talking. So change your mindset. Let's be positive about it. Right? Something that you don't like about yourself. Find out what it is. Because when you don't have self-love, you ain't got love for nobody else. And if you try to get out there trying to love somebody else, but you don't love yourself, it's just gonna be a big mess. So try some self-love. See how that does for you. Try to change the track record of people that look like you. Because your track record ain't that good when it comes to history. Change it. Start with you. If you want to get a group of people together and it don't work, then start with you. You know what you're doing right or wrong. Do more right than wrong. So that's my take on that. I wish all immigrants well. I wish our government well. I wish my run for trustee in Dalton goes well. And if there's somebody more qualified, then I will support you. If you want to hear my ideas about how we can make Dalton a better place, I'll support it. I got ideas for them 400 plus houses that's sitting empty, y'all. I got ideas for them water meters that need to go into the houses. I got ideas for those small businesses that actually want to get permits so that they can go ahead and start doing business. I got ideas. Because at the end of the day, I'm not attached to all the nonsense that went on way before I got there. A lot of people talking about how they've been in Dalton for 20, 30, 40 years. Man, when did you throw your hat in the ring? You was there that long. Watching all that stuff go on that long? You didn't call nobody? You didn't try to make no changes? I find it hard to believe that you really two that you really give a care about the area that you live in if you're not trying to make a difference beyond the rhetoric, beyond the social media platforms. So that's how I feel about that. So sharing a little bit feels good to be Dinasha on the show, right? Not that I'm not Dinasha on the other shows, but it feels good to chop it up with you about what I'm really feeling. Uh, I'm a positive dude. I'm always be a positive dude, whether I'm smiling and hopping on the conversation or whether I'm real focused on what I'm saying. I'm always gonna be positive. I'm a glass half full dude. A lot of stuff that's done, it don't shake me much. It don't shake me much because I've been through a lot, and I'm gonna go through a lot more. I hope that I got 51 more years on this planet to keep it pushing, to keep it moving. That's how I feel about it. If y'all want to ever talk to me about how I feel beyond what you see on this show, again, 708-223-8953. I'm going to give you another number, 224-800-9719. That's my phone number to this phone right here, 224-800-9719. Get at me, holler at me, call me. I talk to a lot of amazing people around the city doing their thing. They're not waiting for nobody to do what they feel like they've been gifted and blessed to do. They're not waiting for anybody to come to their left or come to their right. They moving forward. They putting a vision out there and they moving forward. So if you miss it, you're not missing it because of the lack of motivation from others. You're missing it because of you. And guess what? If there's something that you want to do for you, don't wait for nobody to get it done. For real. That was me. I'm speaking to the choir. I'm preaching to the choir. I would always take these ideas of mine and I would always take a look at the people who I feel could further the ideas. And I would talk to them about the ideas. And I would share. And I would hope that we would all move together when it comes to the ideas that I had. And what's happened? A, nobody moved on it. B, somebody else took their version of the idea and they tweaked it and made it their own. But at the end of the day, they moved on without me. Now, do I blame those people? Absolutely not. And I'm going to tell you why. They saw an opportunity and they moved forward with it. Didn't mean me well. Maybe I wasn't the type of guy. Maybe it was just about the idea. But at the end of the day, it was up to me to birth the idea beyond conversation with others about the ideas. So now, the ideas that I had, the things that I want to get done when it comes to my personal life, when it comes to my community, guess what? I'm going to keep that to the chest until I'm able to birth it the way it needs to be birthed. And then I'm going to share what was birthed to the people who can benefit from it. Because I do not have any ideas in my mind that's not going to include people who can benefit from it, because that's just the type of dude I am. I'm not a tear down type of dude. I don't build triggers, I build bridges, but I can work both of them. So now I'd rather build bridges than build triggers. But at the end of the day, my life has prepared me to pivot any type of way, for any type of reason, any type of occasion. And I choose to stay a peaceful man. I choose to stay a humble man. I choose to exercise the rights to share all the knowledge that I've gained. And I am looking forward to always learning of the knowledge that somebody wants to share with me. I believe that that's the definition of growth. I believe that that's the definition of what I always say about onward and upward. What's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your reason? Why are you existing? Are you a menace to society? Like them folk who don't want them immigrants to come through? Like them folk who don't want Dalton to be a better place? Let's not just talk about Dalton. Let's talk about everything around it. Let's talk about that Harvey. Man, hey, a lot of potential to be a better place. And I'm going to tell you why. It's a lot of land sitting empty that can have wonderful, wonderful growth with people that are motivated to do right. So you got an idea, you motivated to do right. Somebody's going to pick that up and they're going to share with you. They're going to grow with you. They're going to move with you, but you got to birth it. So just, just telling you some things that's on my mind. So I'm thanking y'all for listening. I need y'all to subscribe to the intellectualradio.com platform. Now, I didn't said it nicely, and I'm gonna continue to say it nicely. But at the end of the day, I talk to a lot of y'all that enjoy the show, that watch the show, that's telling me about other shows. But at the end of the day, be honest with yourself. Have you taken the time to tell somebody else about the Denasha Harrison show? Have you taken the time to tell somebody else about intellectualradio.com? How many times have you told somebody to press that subscribe button? How many times have you told somebody to press that like button? So I don't know. It's just my question to you. If you're supporting me in any way, make sure that you subscribe to the intellectualradio.com platform. Make sure you subscribe to the Denasha Harrison show. Make sure that you put comments in that comment section on the Facebook platform, YouTube platform, intellectualradio.com platform. Help me further the show. Help me further the show by giving me those likes, by watching the show, inviting other people to the show. If you really like what you hear, then help me further the show. I appreciate your eyes and I appreciate your comments. But guess what? 2, 3, 4 sets of eyes are better than just yours. Now, I will always appreciate you all supporting the show. A couple of y'all sent me money out the blue for the Denasha Harrison show. That's what's up. 224-800-9719. There's link to that Cash App, y'all. Right? I got Zelle too. So I'm doing a lot of things in my life that has to do with getting the word out. And every little bit helps. Now, if you don't have the money, as I said before, then please continue to watch and support the show. All right. But let's get real with what we're doing. If you're watching this show, that means you're spending time watching the show. That means that you really enjoy the show. Make sure that that time that you spend concerning the show is time well spent. And if you can think about somebody else that would benefit from watching this show or anything else on the intellectual radio platform, then make sure that it's going to be time well spent for them concerning the show. So, quick recap. Those Haitian immigrants in that place in Alabama that I'm not going to try to say because I don't know if I'm butchering the name or not, and Springfield, Ohio as well. Man, whether it's a Haitian immigrant, a Croatian immigrant, a Mexican immigrant, whatever it is, don't blame the person that wants a better life. All right, try to support that person that wants a better life because you had the opportunity at some point to be given an opportunity. You had the opportunity. Don't miss what I just said. You had the opportunity to be given an opportunity. Slaves were not given the opportunity. They never had the opportunity to be given the opportunity. You all have had the opportunity to be given the opportunity to make a better life. So why would you stand in the way of somebody else to do the same because of the color of their skin? Stop being afraid of somebody's skin color. Stop hating on somebody because of their skin color. You don't even know that person. Content of the character, not the color of the skin. The Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said that. That person that was killed because of hate and fear, that person, one of our leaders, stop being so quick to run somebody out of a town that you don't even own, man. That you ain't even doing that then. You want to claim something because somebody else needs something. Man, stop all the madness. Be honest with yourself. You'll live longer and you'll have a better life. So again, this is the Denasha Harrison Show. I'm looking forward to joining you next Wednesday. Again, if the levee don't break and the creek don't rise, I will join you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the support. I will join you again, and I'm going to say it again. If the levee don't break and the creek don't rise, we'll see you next time on the Denasha Harrison Show here on Intellectual Radio. Thank you.